Alright, muchachos, this is going to give you 3 checking for understanding problems. Work through these 3 problems. If you feel like you get the first one and you're ready to go, then move on. If you get the first one wrong, then continue on until the video is over. If you don't get any of these right, then I'm going to link to you a Khan Academy video or a Khan Academy module for you to work through. So let's take a look at the first problem to check for your understanding. We have 2x squared minus 8 over x plus 1. Alright, so I want you to factor this out first. Divide. Make sure you are working on the domain restrictions. Alright, see you in a little bit. Take 5 minutes. Alright, assuming you've paused your video. If you haven't paused your video, I don't know what to say to you. I mean, really. It's not that hard. You have to pause the video. So easy. But yet you didn't do it. Why didn't you do this? Jerk face? Come on, man. No, I'm just kidding. If you didn't pause the video, now you pause the video. You still have time. You can go back. You can right your wrongs. What you didn't still pause... Alright, I'm done. So, first thing we need to do is get the greatest common factors out. For space purposes, I'm just going to go right to that step. So that upper left-hand side had a GCF of 2. Lower left-hand side didn't. Upper right-hand side had a greatest common factor of x squared, which is pretty exciting. We're left with x plus 2. Lower right-hand side had a greatest common factor of x, which we're left with x squared minus 1. Alright, not done factoring yet. 2 of these can be factored further. So I'm going to take those and factor those a little bit. So we have 2. Those are difference of 2 squares. X plus 2. X minus 2 over x plus 1. We're dividing that by x squared. X plus 2 over x. X plus 1. X minus 1. So once I've got this factored, I'm going to keep in a corner restrictions. These are the things that x cannot equal. And once it's fully factored, I'm good to go. X cannot equal negative 1. It cannot equal 0. It can't equal negative 1 again. And it can't equal 1. Alright, so the next step is to reciprocate that second fraction, and for space I'm going to have to erase it. So you're going to have to copy this down and write a new step on your paper. Alright, so I've flipped over the bottom, I'm going to finish that part up. Now I have a new denominator, that x plus 2. That means I have to add another restriction of negative 2. Now since I have multiplication and all I have is factors, notice I can group these all in parentheses and make it multiplication without changing the value. I'm going to do some major cancellation now. So I've got the x plus 2 and an x plus 2 there, x plus 1 there and an x plus 1 there, and I've got an x that cancels out with an x squared. Now I'm taking out one of the x's, that means I'm still left with 1 in the denominator. So in total, my answer is 2, x minus 2, x minus 1, over x. Now we can still multiply this out and get 2x squared minus 3x plus 2 over x. And then you can still distribute that 2. That gives me x does not equal negative 1, 0, 1, or negative 2. So my final answer is this. Ta-da! Got the domain restrictions, I've got the final answer, and I divided them. Alright, let's take a look at another problem. So, your question here is to simplify x squared plus 3x plus 2 over x minus 1 divided by x plus 2 over x squared minus 2x plus 1. So, pause your video and answer this. Alright, assuming you've paused your video, our answer should be x plus 1 times x minus 1, which is x squared minus 1. Who could believe that something as simple as x squared minus 1 could be represented in such an amazingly complicated way? Oh, don't forget about the domain restrictions, kiddos. X cannot equal 1, and it can't equal negative 2. And those are the only restrictions. Ta-da! One more problem. See what you got. Alright, same idea. How about 2x cubed plus x squared over x plus 3 divided by 2x squared plus x over x squared minus 9. Alright, pause your video. Alright, hopefully you found the answer to be x squared minus 3x with the restrictions x cannot be negative 3, 0, negative 1, or 3. And that would be our solution. If you are totally lost, I'm going to link that Khan Academy module. Make sure you work through that before proceeding. Otherwise, adding and subtracting is going to be impossible. All right. Good luck going forward.